Hey, welcome back, folks, to Max Nave Horsemanship. And yeah, we're sitting inside the car today because it's not real nice outside. Unfortunately, the last couple of days have been cold, wet, and windy. And well, my idea of cold, it's right around the freezing mark. It's been raining and snowing, and it's kind of windy. So it's not real nice out. There's no sun, none of that stuff. So we're just going to sit in here and do our video today. And yeah, just a few days ago, it was seriously pleasant, sunny. Pretty much all the snow had melted. And, well, now we're kind of back to this white winterland again. Already third week of April, and it's snowing. I don't get it. Oh, don't believe me? Well, take a look. Pretty much everywhere you look, it's white out there. Yeah, it's not nice at all, and pretty much the whole world looks like this. Well, at least my world. Maybe not where you live. I'm sure where a lot of you live, you already got flowers. Yeah, we don't even have any green grass yet. And the brown that we had just a few days ago, it's all been covered up. So today I want to talk about something. I've actually been meaning to talk about this for quite a while, and well, it's a book I've been reading now. I'm not going to bother telling you what the author's name is or anything because I don't know anything about them, and I don't want to have you think I'm promoting them or anything like that. But you know, somebody gave me this book, well, a number of years back, and I haven't read the whole thing yet, but I've been reading bits and pieces of it. And just recently, I actually came across something that was pretty interesting, and it was about horsemen. They're talking about what a true horseman is. And they know the difference between loving your horse and loving your horse. Because there's two different kinds. There's those that, well, it's how you feel about the horse. And then there's those that carry out their love by action. It's how they treat the horse, how they care for the horse. It's a big difference. Some people can say they love the horse, and yeah, they might feel pretty good about their horse, but they don't truly take care of it, at least not as good as they could. In some cases, they just don't know any better. They think they're doing what's right, and oh well. But that's the difference between, well, in the case of this book, they talk about the difference between a rider and a horseman. Now, I did a previous video on the subject of trainers and horsemen, and I explained the difference between the two, which their definition in the book doesn't change any of that. That's still just as valid because the points are pretty much parallel. And I said that the difference between a horseman and a trainer is the trainer looks at the horse and says, what can I get that horse to do for me? Because they want to look good. Well, in all fairness, you know, most of them make their living that way, so they want to look good at what they do. So it's kind of up to them at what they can get the horse to do. That's good for business. But a horseman would look at that horse and go, what can I do for that horse? What does that horse need? What kind of help can I provide that's going to help that horse feel better about things? And in the end, well, you get a better horse. And, well, in the book, they compared riders and horsemen, and they said, you know, not all riders are horsemen, and not all horsemen are riders. And that particular observation made me feel a little bit better too, because I don't ride a lot, and I don't really care much if I do or not, because I've mentioned it before that the more I get to know horses, the less I care if I ride, because I get pleasure out of just being with the horses. Well, I'm going to just go over a couple more little points that they make in their book here. And one of them is when there's a problem with the horse, they don't look at the horse. They look at themselves and they step back and say, why? Why did that happen? Why did the horse behave that way? And this is something I've mentioned many times. And I thought it was really nice to see it in writing. Somebody else has got the same opinion. And they got to take a look at themselves and figure out, what can I do differently that would help the horse? You know, that's one of their points. So we've talked about the difference between love as an emotion and love as an action. And that's one of the differences between a rider or trainer or coach, instructor, whatever, and a horseman. The horseman is somebody that, well, they put their money where their mouth is, so to speak. They walk the walk. They don't just talk about how much they like the horse. They show you by the way they treat the horse. And that was one of their first points. The second one was, the human taking responsibility for the behavior of the horse and looking at the horse and the problems it has and saying, what can I do differently? How can I help the horse? That was number two. Of course, I kind of abbreviated their version of it. They went on, actually it was a couple paragraphs long the way they explained it. And their third point was that you help the horse in such a fashion that it is not only willing to do its job, but it wants to do its job, and it does it in a fashion that you can tell the horse is enjoying itself and it wants to do good. And, well, of course, there's always opinion on that, what is good and what isn't good, that sort of thing. But largely, you can tell if you pay attention to the horse, but then I guess you kind of have to be a horseman to do that. So I just thought I'd share this a little bit with you. It kind of mirrors some of the stuff that I already have said and what I believe the differences between a horseman and, well, all the other people that might think they're horsemen, but they really aren't. And they can overlap. A rider can be a horseman can be a rider, but or a trainer or instructor or, well, you get it. The two can overlap. You can be a horseman and just about anything else, but just because you're any one of the other things in the equestrian world does not necessarily make you a horseman. And it's very, very important if you want the best out of your horse, and if you really, truly care about your horse, you want the best life for it, you work on being a horseman. That's one of my goals, is I strive to be a horseman. Some people like to be a great rider so they compete and be the best barrel racer or whatever, dressage, you name it. Those aren't my goals because I don't care about me and how I look to people. I'm more interested in what I can achieve with a given horse that makes the horse feel good and that make the horse good at what it does because it enjoys it and it's comfortable. And that's what you need to strive for. Be a horseman, not just a rider, not just a trainer, not a coach, not an instructor, none of those things, and not just an equestrian, as so many people like to refer to themselves as, because that just means you're around horses. It really doesn't mean much at all. Be a horseman. Have a good day.